Hi everyone, welcome to G9ija TV for today's episode of G9ija News Review. So without much ado, um, I would just like to actually start with the first news we've got is the issue of the the fallout of the Bobrisky's saga. So we've actually got Aisha Yusufu basically saying if the Falanas let this go unchallenged, the same people will say that they are guilty of what they are accused of. A lot of things have been happening on these things. In regards to this fallout about Bobrisky not really being in prison, and we've got a pushback from the prison authority saying there are assessments they do carry out. That there are some prisoners, basically, that they will not allow to actually stay in the normal wing of the prison because of one reason or the other, especially if they actually pose a sort of, they could be a destabilizing factor. For instance, Bobrisky is a cross-dresser, dressed like a woman. So these are people who are being deprived of any conjugal rights. So imagine something like him being put in, within the prison system, or among prisoners who are like, man, they will rip the guy up to pieces. So anyway, so let me just quickly share this. Right. So what we've got here is very dark man. The dark man himself here who is scattering everywhere. Activist Aisha Yusufu is of the opinion that if revered lawyer Femi Falana and his son rapper Olarin Falana, aka Pals, allow their rift with social critic, very dark man, slide, it will be perceived as though they are guilty of whatever allegation that was leveled against them in the audio recording Very Dark Man released. Recall that the social activist Very Dark Man released a purported audio conversation between Bobrisky and a man, where the crossdresser claimed that Fox reached out to him, saying his father, Femi Falana, said he could help Bobrisky secure a presidential pardon with 10 million naira, so his name would be cleared from criminal records. In a letter dated September 25th, released by Femi Falana legal representative Taiwo Olawale, he described the allegation as a vicious, wicked, reckless plot to impugn his reputation. The senior lawyer said he had never spoken to Bobrisky on his alleged pardon or any matter whatsoever. The legal expert demanded an immediate retraction of the said publication as well as an apology from Very Dark Man to be published on all his platforms within 24 hours. Files also denied the allegation, saying he only spoke with Bobrisky when the prosecutor called him from prison asking for money, but he refused him. Both father and son demanded an immediate retraction of the said publication, as well as an apology from Very Dark Man to be published on all his platforms within 24 hours. However, Very Dark Man refused to apologize, stating that he didn't defame the Falana, but only brought the audio recording to light because he wanted relevant agency to investigate allegations allegedly made by Bobrisky. Reacting in the old issue on X, Aisha wrote, in the last few days, I have been aghast at the thinking of so many. Many think they own you when you speak against injustice or stand for someone. If the panels let this go unchallenged, the same people will say they are guilty of what they are accused of. Now they are taking it up, they say it is oppression. The same person did say they should clear their names, and that is exactly what they are doing. For those who feel that the focus should be on the corruption and not the paradox taking on defamation case, have you ever heard of multitasking? Both can be done. If the guy in the video has evidence to the accusation, then he goes to court. Otherwise, tender the apologies and let everyone move on. Because many do not care about their reputation, they feel others shouldn't. You want to tarnish a family's hard-earned name, and you think they will let it go. What nonsense is that? The corruption case can go hand in hand, which is really true, honestly. Because if you look at it now, how can somebody just make like a lot of people are already you know accusing what's his name, very dark whatever. You know, look, if you want to do your thing, do it the right way. You can't just go. Anybody who has been in the receiving end will not accept it, and the Falanos should not accept it in any shape or form. This guy just came on the scene. Okay, fine. If that's your calling, no problem. But you have to do it in a way that is not reckless. You know, I keep saying this. This guy has been just so reckless, yeah, and he has actually shown that himself to be totally, ignorant of the way that the law actually works. You go and bring out somebody is, these are the people that gives, you know, the government the opportunity to clamp down on free speech because they will say somebody like him, is coming up with injustice, will just be saying some rubbish. How can you just say that you're not saying they should go and meet Bobby? What? Bobrisky did not release it. Yes, it was. Well, we believe that that was Bobrisky's voice, but he did not really. Was having a conversation with a snake that he actually thinks is his friend. I'm not a friend of Bobrisky, and I'm not his fan at all. But the truth of the matter is that very dark man is the one that has created these issues. If you want to get at Bobrisky, so you're ready to destroy other people's reputation. You are saying, oh, I mean, even what he said by himself already, he has already alluded to the fact that they are guilty, that he is disappointed. If you are not entirely sure, why would you be saying something like that? You sound like you were sure because you were already saying it that, well, they brought up their name. Okay, fine. Who is chasing? Because they're using your name, abusing the Palano's daughter and all that. This guy is crap and is full of it. Anyway, let's move on from there. So this is one of the key things that we do talk about. That when people are not really, conversant with the way the law actually works, unfortunately, this is sort of things, this sort of nonsense, just come up. Okay, I'm trying to. I don't know what happened here. I have to apologize. There's been a break in our transmission. Um, thank God it's been sorted out. Now we are back. So I do apologize for that. It's an issue that is beyond. Um, it's a technical issue. So we are back now. So that's a good thing. So as I was saying earlier, this is one of the key things that we have to really, actually focus on because you can't just have somebody just accusing. Imagine if anybody goes outside, just begin somebody you heard something or you had an audio, especially in this age of AI. It's not just enough to say, "Oh, I've got the audio." What about if that audio is fake?
Have you ever thought about that? You just quickly go, hey, I don't get this, I don't get this. I'm a social fighter. You are Robin Hood. And the guy just came around and just performed some, idiotic moves, you know. So as it is, it's not oppression. I am for fighting against injustice, yes. But at the same time, you now don't use other people. You say when you begin to go beyond the boundaries, then you now begin to think, hang on, there's something wrong here. So, kudos to Aisha Yusufu. What she said was quite right. Absolutely. So, but moving on swiftly. So, we want to talk about Boko Haram guy. So, there's a story actually ongoing here about a Boko Haram, um, about this Boko Haram, a member of the Boko Haram that decided to, whether it maybe he was receiving some serious bomb on his head, that he now ran up and, to surrender. That's, look, that he has had enough, you know. So let me just share the screen here very quickly. You know, when you have all these terrorists, once a hard stand has been taken against them, you begin to see some serious moves. You see how they begin to react. So we've got this guy here, Boko Haram terrorist surrenders, hand over AK-47. Hmm. So basically, the story goes. Um, he said the multinational joint task force has said that a notorious Boko Haram terrorist, Boko Abacha, what a name, has surrendered to troops deployed in Pokawa local government of Borno State. The chief military information officer of the MNJTF, the multinational joint task force, Lieutenant Colonel Olani Osaba, disclosed that this in a statement in Maiduguri on Saturday. He said that Abacha, a key figure in several terrorist operations, admitted to participating in multiple operations along the Monguno Baga axis. He said that Abacha attributed his surrender to the intense operation of the task force and his dwindling interest in the cause. Are you sure that it's because he's dwindling interest, or it's just that the guy is looking at his options? Osaba said that on surrender, Abacha handed over one AK-47 rifle, a magazine loaded with 11 rounds of 7.62 mm ammunition, a mobile phone, Airtel SIM card, and 32,000 naira. He explained that the suspect is currently providing valuable intelligence to the authorities. In a separate operation, the task force troops, in conjunction with intelligence operatives, ambushed Boko Haram terrorists conveying large logistics supplies in three Toyota vehicles under the cover of darkness. According to him, the troops engaged the terrorists in a fierce gun battle, killing one and forcing the others to flee, abandoning their supply. Osaba said that recovered items included three Toyota vehicles loaded with assorted foodstuff, sundry items, and 2,000 naira. It's just madness, isn't it? It's just pure madness. I think the military, they are actually doing a fantastic job. We are beginning to see some movement, but I think they should just be, relentless. We should not even give them a breather. It's like somebody that's hiding underwater, wants to come out from here. They should just continue to bombard them. But these guys, I think having the military action being taken is just one part. The government too needs to be looking at, you know, in terms of projects that they can put in place, some strategy whereby, going into the bush will not be an attraction. A lot of these guys don't have any meaningful, handiwork to do. So that's all they see. They see it easy money. Like this kind of chap now. I mean, what does he do? If you actually ask him what he was doing before, maybe all he was just doing Sai Baba. Maybe that's all he was doing. So without much ado, let's move swiftly to, I think we've got our I've actually got one here about mm, okay. The last but not the least is about the minister in charge of prison. He has some interesting things to say. Let me share that. So he said, Bobrisky scandal, we won't spare indicted officials. Interior Minister Olubunmi Tunji said. You know, I think that is a very good one. So the the minister has to be seen as being, proactive, relentless in pursuit of resolving this issue, to find out what really happened. Because honestly, it's not really good for a nation to, the moment we start having this, it's, once we start showing, once our justice is not served equally, it's the beginning and the end of that society, you know. So what the minister says, but said the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji, has issued a stern warning that officials of the Nigeria Correctional Service implicated in the apartment for prison scandal involving controversial crossdresser Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bobrisky, will face severe consequences. This comes in response to reports circulating on social and traditional media that some NCOS officials allegedly arranged for Bobrisky to serve his jail term in a private apartment rather than in prison cell. The processor has been sentenced to 6 months in prison by federal high courts in Lagos for naira abuse. During a press briefing in Abuja, marking his 1 year in office, Dr. Chidodo assured the public that any personnel found guilty in the ongoing investigation will not be spared. We will not spare anybody, no matter how highly placed, Dr. Chidodo declared. Let's be patient. Investigation is ongoing, but be assured that nobody will be protected, he emphasized. He further noted that the high caliber of individuals appointed to the panel overseeing the investigation reflect the government's commitment to conducting a thorough and far-reaching inquiry. Tudiojo expressed confidence that the probe will restore discipline and integrity to the correctional service. So I think we have a video
This
here.
meeting, the minister says nobody involved in the cross-dresser saga will escape punishment.
What are you sure of? You can be sure about, be sure of, and I swear to God Almighty, we will not rush anybody, no matter how the person is.
Hmm.
The reason why we took that decision yesterday is that the charge, who is a high senior officer, it's a deputy controller, that is a senior officer, for error or whatever, he first of all takes while we investigate, so that there is no way anybody can tap. And when you look at the team that we set up to
Look at what the minister actually said. For somebody like that to lose his career, for who? For risky the Bob. For what? They are the one that are suffering this. They are the one that are suffering it. That will be a man that has responsibility, that has a family. The breadwinner of a family. Look at him now. They first of all even put him aside.
investigate. You will see there's a mixture of civil society and public servants.
Look, I just want to say that if anyone believes that Bobrisky, if it is actually found he did not stay in prison, so I'd just like to actually have this in the comment section. Do you think he should go back to prison? They should send him back because he did not. If it is established that it truly, because I think from what we are hearing is that there is possibility that he was in prison, but he was not staying. Maybe that they have a VIP wing. I mean, it is all right to be able to assess individual prisoners on if they are VIPs or maybe celebrities or influencers, whatever. They will not put somebody like a Joshua that dressed like a woman among men, even though they established that they still have all the male organs and all that. He's dressed as a woman. It looks like a woman and everything. So imagine, would they put him among the normal prisoners? Of course not. They will rape the guy now. They will rape the guy. So it's understandable that if they've carried out that assessment, so then decision is taken to actually put him on the side. Put him in a place that is, that is isolated from the others. So I have a feeling that this guy sometimes might be saying some pockies. He might be saying some stories that are not necessarily true. He could say, "Oh, I was in an apartment. I was not in prison." He's supposed to be a celebrity. I don't know, whatever. So maybe he's trying to impress people by saying those things that I wasn't there. I was in a nice apartment. Can even claim that he was in Plantain Island where he was actually staying, and everything. So don't call me prisoner. I'm not a prisoner. Those people, those are the prisoner. Me, I'm special. Said my godfather. You see the way he was talking. Said my godfather. Said, don't worry. I don't want to say anything on that. So you can imagine. So I think it is established that truly he did not really stay where he was supposed to be. Even after the assessment assigned about that he was outside the prison, he should be made to go back and go and reserve, to serve as an example to others. Unfortunately. Nothing personal. So he has caused other people to lose their job now, So even though those of their complicit, you can't help but feel sorry for them. But well, regardless, it is what it is. If that egg is going, I said it before, that egg is going to roll because of this thing. So well, thank you everybody. So really appreciate. So now until tomorrow again, it's from me, Olatunde. Thank you. God bless. And